the bloodiest battle of any war in recorded human history. It is not uncommon for wars to leave a trail of chaos and destruction behind them. Battles are fought, lives are lost, and histories are written. But there is one battle that stands out as the bloodiest in recorded history, leaving behind a trail of devastation that was both gruesome and extraordinary. This battle is known as the Battle of Stalingrad, which took place during the Second World War. The Battle of Stalingrad is considered one of the most significant battles of the Second World War. It was fought between the German army and the Soviet Union, which lasted from August 1942 to February 1943. The battle was fought in the city of Stalingrad, which was a major industrial center of Soviet Russia. The German army had been making progress in its plan to occupy the Soviet Union. However, the Soviet army was able to stop the German advance at Stalingrad, preventing them from taking control of the city. The Battle of Stalingrad was a turning point in the Second World War. It was the first major defeat that the German army suffered, and it changed the course of the war. The battle was brutal, and it was also heavily documented, giving us a clear picture of the horrors that occurred during those months. The battle was waged as a result of the German army's Operation Barbarossa, which was intended to be a swift military campaign to conquer the Soviet Union. The plan was to take control of the major cities and industrial centers and weaken the Soviet Union. However, not everything went according to plan. The Soviet army was prepared, and they fought fiercely against the German army. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the major battles of this campaign, and it was also one of the most significant. The Battle of Stalingrad was fought in three main stages. The first stage was known as the German Offensive, which began on August 23, 1942. The German army was able to cross the Volga River and take control of the city center. The second stage was known as the Soviet counterattack, which started in early September. The Soviet army was able to launch a counterattack and push the German army back to the outskirts of the city. The third and final stage of the battle was known as the Soviet offensive, which began on November 19, 1942. The Soviet army was able to surround the German army and cut off their supply lines, leading to their eventual surrender. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the bloodiest battles in history. Estimates suggest that over 2 million people were killed, wounded, or captured during the course of the battle. The German army suffered the most casualties, with over 800,000 soldiers either dead or captured. The Soviet army also suffered significant losses, with around 1 million soldiers either dead or wounded. The civilian population in Stalingrad also suffered heavily. The city was completely destroyed, and many civilians were killed or injured. The Battle of Stalingrad was fought with intense ferocity on both sides. The German army had a clear advantage in weaponry and firepower, but the Soviet army was prepared to fight to the death. Both sides were forced to fight in close quarters, which led to brutal hand-to-hand combat. The battle was also fought in extreme weather conditions. During the winter months, the temperature dropped to below freezing, making it difficult for soldiers to fight and survive. The Battle of Stalingrad was not only significant for the number of casualties it caused, but also for its impact on the course of the war. The German army suffered a significant blow from which it never fully recovered. The battle also gave the Soviet army the confidence to push back against the German army and eventually take control of the Eastern Front. The victory at Stalingrad was a significant turning point in the Second World War, which had a profound impact on the outcome of the war. In conclusion, the Battle of Stalingrad was one of the bloodiest battles in history. The battle was fought with intense ferocity, and it left behind a trail of devastation that was both gruesome and extraordinary. The battle was significant for its impact on the course of the war, as it was the first major defeat that the German army suffered. It was also a turning point in the war, which saw the Soviet army gain confidence and push back against the German army. The Battle of Stalingrad will forever be remembered as one of the most significant battles in history, a reminder of the horrors of war and the devastating impact it can have on humanity.